Hello boys and girls and children of all ages, my name is Leighton Todd for DIY Media and you are watching Truth Be Told. Today we're going to be talking about some of the lies the media have told over the last few years and the absolute hysteria of the media during the 2016 presidential election. Over the last few years, the media has told some pretty stupendous lies, from hands up, don't shoot, to golden showers. You would think places like CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post, and definitely BuzzFeed would have learnt by now that messing with truth, reason, and logic is just plain stupid. It has made anyone who has worked for them look like a serpentine-like creature, a lying, disgusting excuse for a pile of crap. In January of 2017, just days before Donald Trump was set to become the President of the United States, BuzzFeed released a dossier about Trump's golden showers and Michael Cohen's little trip to Prague, and CNN endorsed the dossier before getting the facts, which was a huge mistake. It looked like there was a boulder facing Donald Trump that was about to slam Trump and his whole constituency right into the ground. But just a few hours later, it was looking like dodgy, and just a day later, Michael Cohen was exonerated of all allegations when word came out that it was a different Michael Cohen who traveled to Prague.
Welcome back to Hannity. So during his press conference today, President-elect Trump, he took aim at CNN and BuzzFeed for covering an unverified story about Mr. Trump and his alleged ties to Russia. In the report posted on BuzzFeed, it claims that Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, met with Kremlin representatives in Prague in August of 2016. One small little itsy-bitsy problem: Michael Cohen has never been to Prague, ever. Here's what the President-elect had to say about this earlier today.
As far as BuzzFeed, which is a failing pile of garbage, writing it, I think they're going to suffer the consequences. They already are. And as far as CNN going out of their way to build it up, and by the way, we just found out I was coming down. Michael Cohen, Michael Cohen is a very talented lawyer. He's a good lawyer in my firm. It was just reported that it wasn't this Michael Cohen they were talking about. So all night long, it's Michael Cohen. I said, I want to see your passport. He brings his passport to my office. I say, hey, wait a minute. He didn't leave the country. He wasn't out of the country. They had Michael Cohen of the Trump Organization was in Prague. It turned out to be a different Michael Cohen. It's a disgrace what took place. It's a disgrace. And I think they ought to apologize to start with Michael Cohen.
And earlier today, I spoke with Michael Cohen all about this, and he said this. And joining us now, Executive Vice President and Special Counsel to Donald Trump, Michael Cohen is with us. How are you, sir?
Sean, how are you?
Now, wait a minute. Am I allowed to look at this? Is the I don't want to joke about it because it's serious in your life, but
it's very serious.
This is the
my
passport.
Life. Yes, it is.
Okay. You're watching this unfold. I got a text from a friend of mine. Are you watching CNN? They're going insane. And then this whole thing unfolds. You're dragged into it all through the night last night. You're a private guy. We're friends, but I know you. This is not comfortable for you.
It's not comfortable, but I'm okay with it personally because it benefits Mr. Trump, and I'll do anything to protect Mr. Trump, the family, now Vice President-elect Pence, as well as the campaign. So I'm okay with it personally. The problem is that it affected my family, it affected my wife, my in-laws, my children, and that's not okay. And I believe CNN and BuzzFeed and others owe them a serious apology. You know, there's an old expression, where do you go to get your reputation
back? That's
Ray,
what was his name? Ray Donovan in the Reagan administration.
You know where you have to go? To a Donald Trump press release.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Let me tell you, thank you to Mr. Trump for what he did, because without his help, who would have ever thought that there could be two Michael Cohens in this world?
Oh, impossible.
Impossible.
I've never heard that name before. One of my best friends growing up, Michael Cohen, and you're one of my better friends in life. I've known you for a long time. Your name did come up in the press conference. Let's go back to yesterday. You got called by
Mr. Trump.
And Mr. Trump asked you
were you ever in Prague?
And your answer was?
Never.
In your whole life?
No. I've never been in Prague.
And he wanted to see your passport.
So he said, Michael, I really need to know. I said, Mr. Trump, I have never been to Prague. He said to me, okay. I said, do you want to see my passport? I live close to the office.
Right.
And he said, yeah, you mind if I see it? And I said, of course not. I said, you're the president-elect. I'll be there in about 2 minutes.
Right.
In October, it came out that the DNC and Hillary Clinton partly funded that dossier that could have been the unfair and unjust downfall of the president's reign if President Trump was not organized. Or in 2014, when Hands Up Don't Shoot happened, Michael Brown was a thug who was shot because he reached through the door of Darren Wilson trying to grab his gun, shooting the gun twice and hitting the officer in the right hand once. From then, the officer proceeded to shoot Brown 6 times, putting the man down. I could tell you about his last 24 hours on Earth, but it wasn't a very pretty life he had. In the account of Dorian, however, his friend, Michael was called over to the police car and ran away with his arms up, hence the term, hands up, don't shoot. In the end, the grand jury found Wilson not guilty, and the DOJ decided to do their own investigation in 2015, also finding him not guilty, exonerating him of any crime that could have been brought forth against him.
Also, I do not trust this. Oh, they're bad, so they must have done something wrong and they deserve what they had coming rationale, which is the same one we hear from the CIA as we hear from police in a case like Michael Brown. And right now, thousands of Americans are marching in New York and Washington and across the country, demanding a justice system that applies the same to everybody and honors our values. And we want you to know that our hearts are out there marching with them. Please tweet us your comments. Poppy Harlow is up next.
These are just a few times the media have decided to lie to their millions of viewers with their millions of dollars. And over the last few years, they have been going crazy with power. But never fear, DIY Media is here to change the face of media forever. Thank you for your time. If you disagree with me, you can tweet me at TotoCharm or at DIYSMI. You can also email me at business.diymedia@gmail.com. For DIY Media, I'm Layden Todd. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time, but until then, stay safe, guys. And as always, Amen.